I am heponwana, and I'm here to show you a couple games that are complete opposites of each other. So, a little variety, improves a Friday night, gives you a lot of fun. The first one I'm going to be doing is Mr. Platformer. This is a game from Terry Kavanagh. If you don't know that name, you might know from speedrun events, a game called VVVVVV. Terry Kavanagh made that game. And he made Mr. Platformer. It's a very retro-inspired game, but it did come out last year, so despite what you're seeing on the screen, thinking, is that an Atari 2600? Is that in television? Is that another system that I don't even know the names of because we're not all old people like heponwana? Nope, this is a brand new PC game from last year. So I'll explain the game more as we go through it. I just want to say before we start that the game could crash at any point after a level ends. The good news, if that happens, we could continue with the run and there will be no problem with it. It's a kind of unstable game and it's also a free game, so I'm not going to complain about the unstable. So anyways, how about we get it going and then I'll tell you more about what I'm doing. So we will start this run in 3, 2, 1, go. And starts with our first movement. So we have this map screen. It is 16 screens. The one we start on, the upper right that we will not see until the very end of the run, and 14 other squares of 4 different colors. Our objective in this category of full game, we need to beat 40 different stages. So every type of biome, the 4 different biomes, there are 10 different stages. Those stages are always in the same order, no RNG to them, no RNG in the game really. But at the same time, I did that a little sloppy, luckily I got through, our map screen will be randomized every time. We do have a reset button, go back to our checkpoint, and we will use that when we grab those keys. You might recognize, if you're a fan of old school gaming, Pitfall and other old school games. This is very much in television, Atari 64, 2600, 64, what am I saying? Atari 2600 inspired. This is very much an old game at heart. And so the story of where did this game come from? Back last year, there were some issues with Unity, where Unity started to want to do weird licensing agreements that would cause harm to developers. And Terry Kavanagh decided, hey, you know what'd be really cool? How about I try programming in Godot? And so this was Terry Kavanagh's experiment with the Godot language, which is a really cool free programming language. You'll notice each of these stages kind of has themes for the different biomes. So the blue stages are kind of exploring underwater mazes, there's swimming, there's breath. The green ones are very Pitfall inspired. And that was a boo-boo. You'll also notice I have hearts in the upper left corner, and those hearts are how many lives I have, and I am down to my last one. We actually want to take intended deaths. We will do them on those purple stages, grab the key, and jump back to the end of the stage, but we will also do them on other stages just to pretty much make sure we don't reach the final stage of this game until we have cleared all 40 of the other stages. So it's pretty much a balancing act of making sure we keep moving as quick as we can, like we're doing right there, just dodging those fireballs coming out of the lava, threading the needle as close as we can right there. And we just want to keep moving. Those purple ladder stages typically require a death. So you'll notice I did not go to the purple ladder stage. Instead, I went to this red one. Each of the stages themselves, even though they could be randomized on the map, and you'll notice that I seem to know what I'm doing. At least I pretend to know what I'm doing. I'm going to avoid that fish. That's how much I know what I'm doing. Avoiding the fish that'll kill me. Every stage in a biome is played in order. There is a water 1, a water 2, a water 3, and so on. There is also green stage 1, green stage 2, and so on. And each stage has no RNG but very set cycles. And now I'm going to kill myself and restart the run. Don't worry, it says I have 27 levels remaining. So our objective, we need to clear all of those levels before we get to that upper right bell tower. And if we got a little greedy, I'm going to take marathon safety right there because those fireballs are just bad news. But each of these stages, no RNG and very set cycles within them. There is no RNG with what order the stages are, except for in terms of on the map screen, what layout it's going to be. And our whole objective is we want to try and balance how many of each biome we hit. So we want to clear all 10 of each biome around the same time. And that's because if we don't clear them at the same time, we're going to have a little bit of a hiccup at the end. Hopefully you don't see what that means, but there is a chance you will. On these water stages, you'll see I have a breath meter. That's the little white circles. You'll notice I am never going to worry about those. Also, avoid these wacky fish. Some of them are just going way too fast. But we're going to avoid those we're going to ignore the breath meter because we will never run out of breath. We're speed running. Speed running means you go quicker than you can run out of breath. That's actually going to be a theme with the games I do tonight. Also, let's go blindly here. We don't know what's coming, and we're just going to try and avoid those hourglasses, which would kill us. Real cool thing with this game, if you ever want to try it out, and I would love more people try it out just because I am the only runner of this category, I believe, and there's only 3 other runners for all of the other categories in total. One category is clear every stage on one board and then clear the upper right bell. Another one is get to that upper right bell as quick as possible, and that is the entire run. So the quickest runs are literally only about like 3 or 4 minutes, like they are very fast. This category though, to see everything, is world record is 14:44. Typically it's a little bit slower than that, around 16 minutes, could be 18 if things go a little rough. Hopefully we don't go rough, but you never know. This game, though, is free on Terry Kavanaugh's itch.io site, so if you want to play it, it's free. Also, it's free to play in browser, so if you want to play it, go to Terry Kavanaugh's itch.io site, and you could just play the game in your browser. And if you play in browser, you don't even need to worry about the game crashing on you because it is 100% stable in the browser. So we are going through another one. I couldn't decide which way I wanted to go. So great thing is, some of these stages, there are multiple routes you could take. So there are multiple bells to end some of these stages. And it's entirely up to you to decide, what way am I doing it today? You'll also notice, unlike the game Pitfall, I am climbing up these ropes while I'm swinging on them. That is so not a Pitfall thing. But one of the other runners in one of the shorter categories realized you could do that. I'm going to take this latter one. And once he realized that, all of a sudden it broke the game wide open and just created some cool new strategies. And it's part of the reason I would love more people run this game is I want to have more of those cool strategies. Also, speedrunner level, you just keep running. Important thing, no, is you don't have jump control. You jump all or none. There is no like small jump and big jump. So you need to plan your jump control really well there if you don't want to, hesitate and stop. And that was unfortunate. I'm going to take the death right there and reset this. We're down the final 16 levels. And you're probably like, wow, we're only like not even halfway through the estimate. Well, here's the thing. Those 16 levels, those are the longest ones. It gets a little longer the more we go into this. Speaking of things we're going into, also I do want to... Oh, this one's a tricky one because hitboxes in this game are very unfriendly. So I take this one a little slower on a marathon just because otherwise I die a lot. If you die to an object, that object will go away and not come back. So if this lightning wall hits me and I die from it, it will go away and it won't come back for my next life unless I run out of lives and have to continue. So you can sometimes use that to your advantage. This is going to be unfortunate. This is one where I would really prefer have 3 lives, not just 2. This is actually the hardest stage in this run. But we are gonna see what we could do. I am going to take this one just as a marathon safety. There we go. Grab all 3 of those keys and get through to the bell. That stage is honestly a lot trickier than it probably looked. It probably looked pretty simple. I mentioned earlier, you don't have jump control. It's all or nothing. So to play it safe here, we have these crabs. And we're just going to go a little slow. If we try and jump and outrun them, there's a good chance we'll land on one. And unfortunately, we're not Mario. We're not Super. If we land on a crab, we are going to be killed by it. I don't want to have that happen, so we're just going to keep on going. Cool thing about these cliffside levels is there's a lot of verticality to them, so it's kind of cool seeing what the verticality does for us. Slightly off on my timing there. All right, there we go. And we will head on up. And you'll notice as we go through, each stage gets a little bit more complicated until the final one. At the very last one, each of these gets in. Oh, we actually want to take the death here. That is the one red level where we do need to do a little bit of checkpoint abuse. So we're just going to go ahead and reset that. So we are approaching the final stages of each type. This is stage 9 of the water. I clipped a few things, so we're unfortunately going to have to wait on a cycle right here. If we're going real good, we'd get barely ahead of that skull and beat it, which would make us save just a few seconds of time, but it's all right. We are still doing pretty darn good right now. And now we will go through here. The next time we go to a water level, here's the thing. It's going to be the final, the 10th water level. And you might look at it and go, what am I looking at? Because this game goes places at the end. Let's see the final water level. And yeah, this is what it is supposed to look like. Don't worry, the game is not crashing. Surprisingly, it hasn't crashed any yet, which, like I said, the game can crash, but has not crashed yet. So that is the last water level. You'll notice the remaining water level just turned gray. This is the next to last, what I like to call a pitfall stage. Ooh, I went too far there. So next to last pitfall stage, it's also my favorite because it is a super maze. It is really cool maze, but unfortunately, I don't get to show you all the routes on it. This is going to be almost the end for this type of stage. You could mess up a little bit approaching this fish because you cannot get ahead of the cycle I'm on right now. It is impossible to get ahead of this cycle. This stage is more or less an auto-scroller. It is one of the only auto-scroller type stages in this level just because you cannot go ahead of what it's doing. This one, we'll take a quick checkpoint abuse because it saves us like a second and a half. You know, always save that second and a half. And here we go. This one, we want to have 1 life to checkpoint abuse. Be very careful about these because the thing is, if you've ever done a speedrun event or a marathon, you always know nerves will get you. And we're going to take it a little slow just because we don't want those nerves to get us. I probably seem like I am relaxed. I have done this so many times. I am relaxed and cool and calm, but at the same time, I still get nervous. It happens. So this is the, ooh, barely missed that. This is the final stage of this type. Now we are done with the purple ones. Let's clear them out, make them gray. We are done with them. This is the final forest stage. This one is a mess to get through because it is such a mess to try and understand what you're looking at. You'll notice it is super hard to tell what is walk-throughable and what will kill us. And then we have our final cliff stage right here. Or no, I was wrong. We had one more. I forgot. One of these threw in that ultimate puzzle of going left. What next on video games? These brand new video games, this is very retro where it's like, what about if you just, we'll go ahead and clear out a gray one just so you can see. This is what a gray stage is. Once you've cleared all of them, and now, as long as we don't die here, and this is the only final stage where it is kind of easy die, we are almost done. We go to the bell tower, we climb the top of the bell tower, and we will be at time. This is actually a very good run right now, like unbelievably good. World record is 14:44. Time is coming up at the top, at the next screen when I touch the bell. Time is now. And that would be world record, actually, I believe.
Oh my god, congratulations.
Oh.
That's insane. That's insane. Congratulations.
Oh man, that felt so good. That was one of those runs where you just know everything is good because commentary's flowing, the game's not crashing.
That was a 10 out of 10 commentary. You got world record in a marathon. You better be proud of yourself. That is insane. That's insane.
I feel so good about that. And yeah, I hope you all enjoyed that one because nobody else runs that category. It is such a great game. It's tricky. It is hard. But it's incredibly fair. And as somebody who grew up with these old school games, it is so much fun to relive nostalgia. And in case you're wondering, after you finish the game, what's it look like? No sound, and you just have a world of nothing. That is what the game leaves you with. Also, if you do play casually or speedrunning, whatever way, if you want to give it a shot, just know resetting your cookie for the itch.io site will reset your save so you can play again from scratch. And if you're playing downloading it, all you had to do is delete the save data and you could start again from scratch. Until you do so, you're in the gray world.
What a fascinating game. And what a fascinating story behind it, that it was started because of the Unity engine. That's when it started charging people too much. That's so awesome. But yeah, once again, do you want to give a shout out on where people can find the game, just in case they do want to start running it one more time?
Yeah, if you go itch.io and just look up Terry Kavanagh, Terry Kavanagh being the creator of VVVVVV. So if you're not sure how to spell Terry Kavanagh's name, just look up VVVVVV. A lot of people know that one. It's a very famous speedrun type of game. Terry's itch.io site has it for free. No better price, try it out, than a free game.
Also, where can people find you? I know the next run is going to be you as well, but for people who might not be here for the next run, where can they find you?
So I am everywhere at heponwana. So Twitch at heponwana, Twitter at heponwana, Blue Sky at heponwana. Pretty much anywhere, if there is a heponwana there, it's going to be me.
All right, sounds great. So yes, everybody, please go give heponwana a follow. That was an amazing run. Congratulations on the world record in the marathon. That is so awesome to see. But yeah, let's give you a small break because up next, heponwana is coming back with Deliver Us the Moon. What a transition of games to go from a retro 2D platformer to Deliver Us the Moon. It's going to be wild, and I hope you all are ready for it. Once again, thank you all for being here, and thank you, Hep, for an amazing run, and we will see you in just a moment.